Well, as predicted, it was cold last night. It's frost all over the tent. I set my my backpack up as sort of a windbreak. Wow, look at that flake off. Yesterday. Well, look what we have here. That looks like a calabatus. I know what I'm fishing today. As if I wasn't going to fish a calabatus anyway. So there's no wind up yet. I'm going to try to hurry up and eat and get on the water before it picks up. It was interesting last night. The wind was howling until about 8:15, and then it just stopped. So I guess I could have stayed in any of the other campsites that I had originally picked, because it really wouldn't have mattered. So it's interesting. The wind's picking up just a tad, but it's enough that up in here on this rock, it's enough to make it feel cold, whereas down there at my campsite with this down jacket on, I feel like I'm overdressed. So I think the plan today, I'm going to fish in the morning. If the wind comes up like it was yesterday, then in the afternoon I'll just pack my stuff and head over to Twin Lakes, or maybe Big Black Bear. There's no point in me staying here and trying to fish in the afternoon with the wind as it was yesterday. But at least, I should hopefully, I'll be able to get in a good 3 hours of fishing here before packing it up. I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on with my gut by process of elimination. I'm not gonna have the cereal this morning. It's funny. I've been eating that cereal in the high country for at least 10 years, if not longer. But something that caught my eye before I left was that the cereal container either said it had probiotics or prebiotics. I don't remember which. Prebiotics, okay. Probiotics, live active bacteria. I don't remember that being part of the cereal. So I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. Who knows? But I slept okay. I woke up, I think, about 3 times last night. As I said earlier, the wind died down. I mean, it just cut completely off. But by then, it's funny because I had stuck my earplugs in, and just after I'd finished putting my earplugs in, the wind died. So this is what I usually eat for breakfast, which is Costco's Ancient Grains cereal. Today, I'm going to go with Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts hopefully will have a constipating effect. And for those of you that are finding this kind of discussion disgusting, sorry about that, but sort of the trials and tribulations of backpacking. I mean, this has been, these last 2 days have been really, really interesting, at least for me. I mean, I've never, maybe the first trip that I did in the Sierra back in, when was it? I'm going to say it was 93, somewhere between 93 and 96. I remember that first day being tough, but the first day up and over Brown Bear Pass, that was a tough day. I mean, even last year. I mean, last year I hiked from Kennedy Meadows out to I don't know what the meadow is before Emigrant, but I did that. I did it in snowshoes, and I hiked from, it was like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and I wasn't as tired as I was a couple days ago. So I'm definitely out of shape. I guess that could be expected given COVID-19 and working from home and sitting at my office desk all day, for 10 hours a day, tends to make you out of shape. I tried my best in terms of running and improvising weight training, but obviously it wasn't enough. So hopefully I'll remember this for next year. I mean, I have done some training with a pack on, but obviously the pack I was carrying wasn't heavy enough, and I didn't get out enough. But anyway, that first day was just I was just knackered. Woke up the next day, woke up yesterday not feeling 100%, and then these gut issues I've never had that I can remember. I've never had gut issues like this in the backcountry. So we'll see how today goes. I've come over to the dam area, and I'm going to start my fishing there. I'm going to try to sight fish. I don't think I'm going to prospect too much if I can help it. There's also the creek. I saw that big fish in the creek yesterday, so that might be worth a cast or two. So here's the main lake, but right down from there is another lake. And that might explain why I saw those big fish in the creek yesterday. I've walked the bank near the dam and I'm not seeing any fish. So what I think I'll do is I'll go check out that small lake, and then I'm going to head over to the far side of the lake. It looks like there's an inlet there, so I'm going to go check that out. I'm down at the smaller lake, and probably should have brought my waders down here. I'll climb up over these rocks and take a better look. I walked about a quarter of the smaller lake, didn't see any fish. There were fish rising out in the center, but I didn't see any along the banks or in casting distance. And since I plan to fish snow, I figure the best use of my time would be going and hiking up to that inlet. It's probably a 30-minute hike up there, and I'm guessing if the wind's going to come up, it's going to come up about 10 o'clock. So that only gives me about an hour and a half. I just went back to that spot yesterday on the creek where I saw that big fish, and I was able to hook it. It was a really nice brookie. Unfortunately, I put too much pressure on him, and he got off. But it was like a 13-inch brook trout. So before I head over to the inlet, I'm going to put some casts in right over by camp. That water looks pretty good, and the conditions are good right now. So maybe make a half dozen casts before I move on. Oh yeah, I can see a fish working out there. The one thing about this side of the lake is it's pretty shallow, so I should readily see fish cruising. This is the west side of the lake, and it seems to be shallow, and you can see all the way out there into the middle. Oh, wind's starting to pick up. 9:45, so that looks like a really good spot. I'm not wearing my waders because I didn't want to put a hole in them going through all this brush. But yeah, if I had my waders,
That would definitely, I mean, the submerged rocks out there and those rocks there along that deeper water. This is the southeast portion of the lake. This looks worthy of some prospecting casts. It's nice and deep here. Submerged structure. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there are a bunch of mayflies on the water, and there's no active fish at all. You can see that one just lifted off. Now this is pretty amazing. All these mayflies on the water and no active fish. Now sure, if these are hatching, the fish could be working on the nymphs, but you still see them flashing around underneath the surface, and I'm not seeing absolutely anything. I need to catch one, see if it's a calabatus. It looks, from here, I see a speckled wing, but oh, there we go. Exactly what I'm looking for. Definitely looks like hatching calabatus. I've got a calabatus nymph one, so I guess I just need to find the fish. It's about 10:30, and the wind's starting to pick up. I fished along that entire bank and didn't see or pick up a fish. Those calabatus are coming off, and even if they're hatching up closer to my campsite and drifting down, you know, you would have still thought that working the entire bank like that I would have picked up fish. Now with the wind blowing all the bugs in this direction, maybe the fish are hanging out here. It's about 11 o'clock, and I'm going to head back to camp, eat a little bit, and then cross the creek again, maybe follow the trail to the opposite bank, and fish some of that fallen timber I saw yesterday on the way in. And if I don't catch anything there, then I'm just going to pack it up and head over the pass to Big Lowe or Black Bear, or maybe even Twin, depending on the weather. The wind's picked up. It's gotten a little bit cooler, but it's not bad yet. So I should still be able to fish, I think, for another hour, an hour and a half. We'll see. I'm definitely going to head out today. If for no other reason, then my tent should be dry by now. And when I woke up this morning, there was so much frost. I don't want to hike with a wet tent and a wet sleeping bag. So let it dry out now. Go back about 1, pack it up, hit the pass before 3. Last time I was here, there was snow all around here. I lost the trail around here, went up to these rocks, went straight up this bluff, which was hairy, and then across. And when I got across, what I didn't know, there was a valley behind this rock, so I had to go down, back up, and then over. Definitely not something I recommend. One of the things that I'm testing out this year is this thermocell. Now, I'm really looking forward to testing it when I get to Emigrant, since the mosquitoes at Emigrant are really, really thick. But so far it seems to be working okay. It takes about 5 or 10 minutes to warm up, but once it does, it seems to be keeping the mosquitoes away. It's pretty useless in the wind, as you might expect, but when it's not windy, it seems to be doing an okay job. It's 1:30, and I'm gonna head up over the pass to Bigelow. Hopefully I can find the trail and it'll be easier than the last time I went over. I'm guessing it's probably going to take me an hour and a half to get over the top, and then maybe another hour and a half to get to Bigelow. And then wherever I am around 5:30, that's where I'll stop and camp. If I make Twin, all the better. I don't know if this is the trail or not. I'm roughly following a line of rocks that it's got a little trickle of snow melt, and near as I can figure, this is the right way to go. So last time I went up over that way, that was definitely the wrong way to go. Okay, it was the wrong way to go, but it prevented me from having to do all this bushwhacking. So I followed the trail until I got to that little creek. I followed the creek until I got too brushy, and then I went along the right side of the granite, and then when the creek came back, I followed the creek until it ended, and I could see a little patch of green in the middle of all this brush, and so I made a beeline for that, and here I am, and there's the trail. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. That's the way I went last time, up along that ridge, up that scree, popped up and over that bluff, across, and then down and over. As I recall, this is a challenging trail to follow. It doesn't get much use. You can barely see Bigelow right at the base of that peak, right over that bluff. The year before last, I came up here, and I was staying up in there. I came from that direction. So I've lost the trail, which I knew it was bound to happen. I remember this being a rough trail to follow. I've decided to stay high on the rocks. I can see the lake from here. I mean, I know where I need to go. So I'm just going to stay high, and if I find the trail, great. If I don't, then I'll just go cross country. I found the trail again, and I'm on my way up to Bigelow. Bigelow Lake. Bigelow's a good fishing lake for brookies, especially that far side by the smaller lake. Looks like we've got some weather over there. It's moving this way, and we got these clouds over here that are moving this way as well. Geez, let's hope they don't meet. Oh wow, look at the cloud cover. So where I want to go is straight in that direction. Huh. Wow, I wonder if I'm in for a storm. Watch says barometric pressure is good. In the middle of that point is where I usually camp, but not today. I think I'm going to try to get down to Twin. Black Bear Lake. This is where I stayed 2 years ago when I first tried to get down to Twin. I had trouble finding the trail, and frankly I was coming off a rehab and I wasn't really confident, but today is a different matter. Now on this lake I usually make my campsite on that granite out there. Now comes the most challenging part of the entire trip. The trip from Black Bear Lake down to Twin. It's only a mile, but it is not a maintained trail. I attempted it once, got 15 minutes in and turned around because I completely lost the trail. I also came across some really big bear scat, so should be an interesting hike. That's where I'm headed. The lakes that I'm going to visit are in that valley. Like I said, lots of bears here. Okay, I am completely lost now. Let's go over this bluff and hopefully, oh, it's wet. Now the trail has completely disappeared. I know it's supposed to go down. I don't know quite how far down or when I should be going down. Looking at the map, the trail goes to the left. So that's the way I'm gonna go. Okay, this looks like could be the trail. This is actually where I turned around last time. Yeah, this is where I turned around. The cloud looks bad, but my watch is telling me everything's okay. But this is just amazing. There's a lake. Looks like I'm here. I have to look at the map, figure out where I want to camp. I think on the far side. Lower Twin, entering Yosemite, wilderness permit required, fire at designated sites. So my understanding is, since I came in from Emigrant, I'm okay with my Emigrant permit. Whew. Boy, it's buggy. Really don't know where to camp around here. So it's super dense pine forest. I think I'm gonna pitch my tent right here. It's super buggy, but I don't know if I'll find a really good spot here. Looks like I got my tent up just in time. It's starting to sprinkle. I'm gonna go get some water, and then I guess I'll hang out in my tent till the rain stops. So it's drizzling outside. Not terrible, but bad enough that it's forced me to come inside and set up. Usually I like to stand or kneel from the vestibule and do all this, but I can't today. I've got all my gear in the tent except my except my bear canister and my pack, they're both in the vestibule. And one of the things I try to do is make sure everything's packed away when it's not in use. As you can see, fairly small space here. It does the job, and it's super light. But it is cramped. And there you go. Typically, I'll change into some silk long underwear to sleep in, and I will rearrange all of this gear along this side so it doesn't interfere with me. My electronics and my batteries and stuff, I'll stick either on the far side of my sleeping bag or right in here. There's a hood, which I never have to use. And then I've also got an ultralight pillow from Outdoor Vitals. Don't want it too full. And there you go. All I gotta do is change, and I'm all set to sleep. Unfortunately, it's only 5:30. So, I'm gonna tool around with my gear bags for a little bit. And, listen, I don't hear any drizzle. So maybe it stopped. We'll see. It's 7 o'clock, and I'm getting ready for bed. I'm going to write a little bit first. I'm finding that if I don't write my fishing chronicles while I'm fishing or right after, I get caught up in doing videos and I never get to it. So I've changed into my my long johns, and as you can see, the clouds have moved away and the sun's come out. And geez, even though I can feel the heat coming through the tent fly. Also, probably looks like I've got a little bit more space because last time I forgot to attach one of those holds at the top, but I've done that now. And as you can see, I'm not laying in my sleeping bag because I don't like to get the inside of my sleeping bag dirty. And also, it's really warm. So I'll wait until I actually go to sleep to get in. But you can see I lay everything out. Everything goes back in its bags. My clothes get laid out so that they quote unquote breathe, which I know they don't. Headlamp stays right here next to me in case I need it. My meds are on the right hand side. Water, my OG Grizzlies front and center. My battery pack, I'm going to be charging my phone and such. My other water bottle, and my socks. And then right outside you can see I've got my pack. Now, I don't know what the bear situation is here. It's Yosemite. I know, the trail that I came down has a lot of bears because the lake is named Black Bear Lake, and the 2 times I've been down that trail, I've seen lots of bear scat. So I'd imagine there's bears here. It looks like it's good habitat for them. So we'll see. I've got my my bear canisters, and it's not too far. I would say it's, I don't know, 20 feet away. We'll see what happens tonight.